Newbie, come.
Now that I think about it, I'm psyched to have Dr. Cox do my evaluation. It'll give me a chance to finally see what he truly thinks of me.
Look, Doogie, I'm up to my cha-chas and busy work, so I'm gonna go ahead and take a rain check on your report card. Just have you do it yourself.
You didn't even fill out my name.
Well, now, I think it's John or Jimmy or or Oh, gosh, it's in the J family. But if you get in trouble, just ask the nurses for help.
I can't evaluate myself.
Would you describe me as warm, professional, or both?
I describe you as I'm on my lunch.
I don't know whether to be easy or hard on myself. I mean, either way.
Can't you see I'm watching my stories?
No, I'd love to be there, but I can't, honey. And, Parker wants me to assist.
I'm pregnant.
Dr. Cox? Have you been here the whole time?
No. I just came in through the couch door. Move.
But I thought you said you were too busy to do my evaluation.
I am. Didn't her daddy sell the coal mine?
Contract didn't stick.
Oh, that's interesting.
Uh-huh.
I finished my evaluation.
Oh, great. I thought it was going to take a little longer, so the marching band won't be here until this evening.
Enjoy. I think you'll find it's a good read.
Hey, newbie, this thing actually does matter, so tell me, were you completely honest with yourself?
Yeah.
Say it right into the camera there, hotshot. Now, you can have this thing back anytime you want. You're gonna have to bark like a dog, though.
I'm not gonna bark like it.
That's your call.
Woof.
All right, bark like a dog if you want your evaluation back. Now, obviously it's silly to evaluate yourself for a job performance, but I like the part where it's like, should I be hard or should I be easy on myself, right? Now, we probably go through this when we're looking back and evaluating our actions or inactions. And this could be a hard part of actually looking at, are we really successful or not? So let's take a look at what it means to evaluate yourself often. So when it comes to the 8th commandment of success, evaluation. Now, there's priorities. We would evaluate what's important to us, our tasks, what comes first, what comes second. We always want to ensure that we stay on track. And that's what evaluating our progress or our lack of progress will do for us. So let's take a look at this a little more. Now, I was a grant writer for a number of years. There's lots of nonprofit and even corporations where they set aside a large sum of money, or individuals, they put in a trust or foundation. And then if you meet the criteria for whatever, if it's for children or if it's for cancer, if you meet the criteria, they'll look at your application. Now, one of the areas they're looking for is the evaluation process. As a grant writer, I was surprised at how many organizations had no evaluation process. They didn't have an end of the year evaluation or a quarterly evaluation. And in the area of a grant proposal is they won't give you a penny without an evaluation process to determine whether you successfully reached your stated objectives. Now, remember the idea of grants, they're giving you money to reach a certain goal or to reach a certain people group. So your evaluation is this your process to check your progress against objectives. So the process to check your progress against your objectives, okay? And obviously without some kind of self-evaluation, bam, failure is inevitable, because if you just keep going and going and going, a lot of times we just may be more on the right track. If you don't go back and evaluate how you're doing and how you got there and why you got there, it really is hard to stay in area of success, why a lot of multimillionaires go bankrupt, right? Because they just keep spending money. They think, I'm gonna keep making money forever, like a professional athlete. Then they get hurt or something goes wrong. Obviously, if you keep going after you get hurt or circumstances change, of course, you're gonna run into bankruptcy or problems. So let's take a look at this. Now remember, process is just a series of actions or steps taken in order to achieve a particular end. All right, Now, the first step here, I believe, this is how I do my own evaluation. When I did grant writing, this is what I said. The first thing, of course, up here is to do it in writing, right? Then set some benchmarks, like points you're going to stop and then review. Now, you have to evaluate with the right mindset. Now, remember, if you're emotional, you wouldn't want to evaluate yourself when you're negative or too positive with emotion. So, knowing the right mindset and obviously being flexible. So, do it in writing, write down the spreadsheet, set some benchmarks that you want to reach. Like if you're going to lose weight, for example, you want 10 pounds. Maybe you would say, okay, every time I reach 2 pounds loss or 5 pounds loss, I'm going to reevaluate how I got here, what went right, what went wrong. And then having the right mindset and being flexible. Now, there's a little acronym here called SMART. When you set a goal, you want to be specific and measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. In your evaluation, you want to evaluate specific targets. You want to be able to measure them. Now, are they attainable? Did you attain them or not? Are they relevant? Did you get sidetracked? And are they time-based? Now, when we're looking at the process, the first step is you have to just put in some kind of process. How are you going to do it? Then we're going to look at the setting, the metrics. Now, this is how you evaluate. Now, again, when you check your progress, this is very important. You go against what you have accomplished, not what you hope to accomplish, right? You're like, well, I hope that I have 10 pounds lost. If you only lost 5 pounds or you gained a couple pounds, that's what you're checking. Where are you in the process? Again, set your timeline, pace yourself. Having an evaluation process early is good. If you start too early, like look at the scale every day going, wow, I didn't lose weight. Well, if it's only been 3 or 4 days, obviously it's a little too early. What's your standard of measurement? Or whose standard of measurement are you going to use when you're setting your metrics? Is it a time? Is it a weight? Is it some standard that you've set, right? Is it some progress, like you're rebuilding a car, you have an old car, and you're like, okay, first I'm gonna do the exterior, I'll do the trim and the bumper, and then I'll work on the engine. So is it the process in the chain of events that you're evaluating, okay? Now the third part is gathering data, right? And the questions where, how, when, what, why, and who. Always asking, so where are we in the process? Or how did we get there? How did we not get there? When do we want to be there? What have we done? What have we not done? And what is our motivation? Why are we getting there in the first place? Who else is involved? You always want to gather information, do research. So we're talking about evaluating and evaluating ourselves. You want to gather information, even about yourself or about the way you handle time. If other people involved, maybe you bring these people in your process of evaluating where you're at along the way, okay? So gather information. Remember, answer these questions. Okay, now here comes the part of the review and the analyze, okay? So here comes the fourth step. Now, this is the hardest part, is taking information and analyzing it. Now, in business, we have this thing called MOST. And there's different forms and different acronyms when you're doing analysis or you're evaluating. So as an MBA student, we had different analysis we would use. MOST was basically working on these 4 areas, okay? And again, this can be the difficult part. Now, first of all, what is your mission? What is the purpose, right? Second, what are your objectives? What are the key goals that will help you achieve your mission? Remember, your mission is your goal, right? Your ultimate end zone. Okay, so there's your objectives. Your strategies, this is where the rubber meets the road, where the tools meet the bolts. You know, this is where strategy, this is where it happens. What are you doing to achieve your objectives, and what's the basic strategy? Now, your tactics are more like those little teeny strategies and how you're doing action. So the tactics are those little steps along the way that you're implementing some kind of strategy, okay? So again, losing weight, remember, there's the exercise part of it, there's the diet part of it, there's the health part of it. And each one of these, you're gonna work in different areas with different targets And when you're analyzing, remember, there's all kinds of criteria that you can use. Like saying, hey, my goal is to be rich. Well, what is rich? How much money do you want? How much do you want to save? What's your investment return? Are you looking at like 10% a year, right? Or do you want to like, woohoo, go for like double your money, which is hard, by the way. If you're looking at money, are you looking at saving money, right? Well, if you cannot make more money, if you're stuck in a salary with no overtime, then you would work on your spending habits. So really, this is part of the process. Finally, you have to make adjustments. Sometimes winning big just takes minor adjustments. Now, you can adjust your goal. One, you can adjust your plan. You can adjust your actions. So sometimes we have to reset the goal. Sometimes we have to do our actions, right? Sometimes you're going to have to redo your plan. So sometimes you move a goal. You can go up or down. So if you're losing weight, maybe you want to go more or less, right? Usually I don't like doing this because then you're defeating the purpose. Then maybe you change your plan along the way. Plan is your organization, and then your action is the little steps along the way. So remember, evaluation is a process, okay? Now let's take a look at, again, how it works. Very simple. First of all, we take action. We plan for evaluation. We design, we collect, and we analyze. You see the little circle there. So obviously the first step is you would like to plan, right? Then you're going to design your process. Then you're going to gather information. Then you're going to analyze that information. And then you're going to take actions of change. Remember, the reason we evaluate is not to kick ourselves or go, oh man, look how terrible we're doing. Or to say, whoa, we're so good, we're finished. Our evaluation process in everything in life is just to help us stay on track, okay? Is to help us make changes along the way. It helps us, maybe our goals are too big or too small, and it helps us to make the little adjustments we need as we go through life year by year, month by month, and day by day. So I believe that if you're going to be successful, you want to set up some kind of way of evaluating yourself and to see how you're doing along your course. So whatever your action is, or whatever your goal is, you can evaluate whether you're reaching it or not. So we're going to stay and look at the 9th part of the Commandment of Success, and you have to watch that video if you want to learn what it is. Thanks for watching us. Join us at OMD. It's onemeandream.com, where we provide you ideas for better living.